to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
Ebro, Laura Rosenberg back again with a special, super special guest, somebody we love so much. Her on the program celebrating a new album. What's up, lady?
Hey, what's up?
Back of My Mind, the new album. Now, wait a minute.
Here.
I read where this is your first album.
Yeah, I mean, I've only released EPs and combined them. So, this is technically my first album.
Yeah, so it's misleading, Ebro, when you look on streaming services because you see the EPs combined into an album, but this is the first full length, technically.
Yeah.
I was so confused. I was like, no way. Get out of here.
This is it. This is officially an album. I never worked towards an album. I always made EPs.
Now, tell us that journey. You know, you as a young artist, right? Like you've been working at this for a long time. You know, even excluding, you know, you being an artist I think you were on television as a child, right?
Yeah, when I was really, really little.
Really little.
But you know,
go ahead. No, go ahead. What were you gonna say? You were gonna say.
I was gonna say, you know, the first projects that I released, they were EPs. Like my first project, Volume 1, it was kind of like, okay, let's just see what happens. And then I made Volume 2, and those were like 7 songs. And it was very, very specific to that time. It was very specific to that sound, like what was kind of going on in music at that time and was still happening. But like it was the beginning of, you know, me as an artist. It wasn't all of the things that, you know, that made me as an artist.
Oh, so now how hard was this process? Because breaking it up in pieces probably seems a little bit easier, right?
Yeah, it is a little easier, but at the same time, I kind of feel like I have this new creative freedom. It's like there's no limits. Obviously, when I first came out, you know, with Volume 1, it was like, okay, this is a very specific sound. This is what's going on in the world of music today. And now it's like all of the pieces. So instead of going into the studio and trying to make something more cohesive, it's like, let me just see what happens. Let me just make great music and then figure it out later, you know, and put this album together and see what happens. But there's pieces of Volume 1, there's pieces of Volume 2, there's pieces of I Used to Know Her. It's everything in one.
Well, and then you were also very mysterious in the beginning, right? Like now you show your face and now we see, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, was it an Old Navy commercial that you're in, dancing in the street, playing a guitar? Yeah. Like now we're seeing you, and it's been a good 4 or 5 years of you being, look, I think your first EP was literally, the cover was a silhouette. Like you showed and used to cover your face. Talk about that journey and why you're showing more of yourself now.
Well, you know, it was intentional because I wanted people to focus on the music. Like, I didn't want my face to be the reason why you listen to my music. Or like, you know, I feel like we listen with our eyes sometimes. We don't listen with our ears, especially with social media. And so it's like, you know, with music, that's the center of what I do. That's the foundation of everything for me. And I know it's not for everybody. So for me, you know, if I just put a silhouette as the cover, if I cover my face, if people don't see who I am, then they have to get to know the music first. They have to get to know the message first and learn me through the music. So I feel like I've done that. And so it's been an organic, you know, kind of opening, like, okay, you can see a little bit more of me. And I'm still trying to find that balance of how much to give and how much to keep for myself. But, you know, the music is the foundation. And I think people see that and they know that.
Listen, sorry, Laura, but that Khaled video, I was like, is she wearing a bikini on standing on rocks? She was on rocks. We went from seeing nothing to like, hold up, she's got a cover up on and a bikini. We outside. We are outside.
Did you ever know that like that was sort of MF Doom's philosophy always in him having the mask? That was sort of his approach to it, was mask. Did you study anyone else who'd done something similar, or was it just something that came to you and felt natural to you?
It felt pretty natural to me. Of course, I thought about, you know, other people that have done that. Probably, you know, Hannah Montana. That's probably the biggest one. But, you know, no, I didn't really think too hard about it. It was kind of a given because I'm about the music, and I know sometimes we make it not about the music, you know?
And the name choice, is the name choice the same thing? Was it just like her to be generic?
So what happened was I actually wrote a song called Her, which it never came out and it's probably never coming out. But I wrote a song called Her. And during that time when I was in high school, when I was like 15, 16, like there's a lot of like older women in my life, you know, like not older, but older than me, like people I call my big sisters and my aunts and people like that. And I would observe, you know, their lives. I would observe the things that they've been through, the relationships and the advice they would give me. And I was always like, you know, I'm never going to be, you know, that girl that like falls for this guy. I'm never going to be like that. You know, I'm not going to go through all that, like all that stuff that women have to go through. I'm not going to go through it. And it's inevitable. I realized that, you know, and I became her. I became that girl because it's just part of being a woman, you know, going through changes and relationship stuff and all that stuff. So that's how that happened.
With back in my mind, with Ty Dolla Sign, we're big fans of Ty Dolla Sign, and I don't think the world really truly understands how incredibly talented he is.
Oh, gosh, he's amazing.
And, yeah, so tell us about you guys getting together for this track and working with him.
Oh man, I'm a huge Ty Dolla Sign fan. So I was so excited. Like I had been wanting to work with him for so long. So we finally got in the studio and just started creating with DJ Camper and Flip, like really dope producers. And it just was organic.
Love Camper. Love
it was
Camper.
the vibe. I know. And so we wrote this song and yeah, it just kind of came natural. And then I was like, yo, you need to put like those ad libs that you be doing, you need to put that on this song. And he went in the booth and like killed like all those like nostalgic kind of 90s R&B ad libs. It was really dope the way that he did that. But yeah, it was fun creating with him.
The album process, obviously an evolution, and there are songs that you fall in love with and then you sort of like get bored of. At this very moment, with the album just coming out, what song do you still most enjoy listening to?
I don't know. That's like tough. I mean, there's songs like Lucky that kind of give me an interlude vibe. I don't know. I don't really know. I couldn't tell you. Like of course, like the newer songs I probably listen to more. Like
are there some that you listen to that you're like, yo, this song is dumb old. I've been listening to this forever.
Oh my gosh, yes. In 2017, I wrote For Anyone. Which is just the stripped down song with just keys and bass. And yeah, even Come Through was actually written in 2017 or 2018. And I was just like, this is so old, you know, but it's like, you know, it's still fresh to people. And it's fresh now that it's out. I hear it differently, I think.
Right.
How are you keeping your personal life so secret from all of us? Please explain. Give some insights to the people out there who are struggling. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. I swore, yo, in the back of my mind, you put out a couple of reggae records. And I was like, yo, she dating somebody from Jamaica. I know it.
Oh, stop it.
She dating somebody from Jamaica.
I love reggae music, okay? It got nothing to do with nobody. Nothing. I love Jamaican music. I love reggae music. I love Caribbean music. But honestly, I just think a lot of that's how I live my life anyways, regardless of being a celebrity or anything like that. I'm already a private and low-key person. Like, you don't see me out very much. Like, I'm very to myself. Like, it's never been a question, you know, and I don't display my feelings online. You know, it's just not something that I personally like to do. Like, it's all in the music. It's all in the art that I create. That is my outlet. It's not talking to people on the internet. You know, it's like, it's
all about music to the public.
Yeah, I just never. That's not something that I do.
At any point in your journey, because I've heard from other artists, you know, trying to get, you know, and I'm using air quotes, popping, or trying to get noticed, or, you know, they leverage some of the personal relationships and the personal life to get interest for their music. Was there ever a point where it even crossed your mind, like, yo, I want more attention for my music. I want more, you know, coming my way in that regard, where you even thought about it? And the only reason I bring this up is because I'm sure there's a young artist somewhere who plays an instrument, who's a phenomenal singer, songwriter, whatever, and is really trying to figure out how long it takes to break through, and should they really stick to their guns of keeping their personal life away from their artistry?
I don't believe in doing anything that you don't want to do. I don't believe in compromising yourself or, crazy publicity, stunts. Like, that's just not how I operate. But, everybody's path is different. And to me, you shouldn't compromise yourself and your art or fake anything just to get, popularity or to get people to listen to your music. Because that doesn't always work. Like, people who market themselves and they do things, for social media, that don't always translate to concert ticket sales or, streams. It doesn't always translate to that.
Nope.
You may be popular. And Drake had this line recently I heard, and he said, you got more followers than dollars, and that's why I can't relate. And I was like, whoa, that is such a bar. Like, that's such a bar, because it's the truth. It's like you see people who have a lot of followers, who have a lot of attention, but it doesn't always equate to real success. It doesn't always equate to the kind of success that you may want. So what's for you is for you. You have to understand what it is that you want. And I personally think, you put out and support and promote what makes you special, what makes you different, and what makes you totally you. And all the other stuff will follow.
It's something we spoke about earlier today, right? Ebro and Laura, we were talking about the election, and a lot of people had buzz on the election, but when it came time to voting, the names that really resonated with people are who got votes. But you are in a lucky circumstance, which is that you have an absolute freakish talent. Like, a lot of people have to lean into the social media of it all because the music isn't that great.
Or the talent isn't that spectacular.
You get to be in this awesome place of being amazingly talented. And I love it because we don't have to overlearn about you. Like, I think all of us grew up idolizing people who we didn't know every single thing about them. Yeah. And even if you look at the best names today, like Beyonce and Rihanna, they do a great job protecting their image to some extent. We don't overknow them. But on the flip side of that, or maybe not on the flip side, right in line with that, are you able to sort of move around very easily? Like, could you be at a concert where 10,000 people are screaming your name and then afterwards go out for dinner a half hour away and not get bothered? Or do people notice you all the time now?
It's kind of changed a little bit. Like, I definitely, for a while, people did not recognize me without my glasses. Like, on some, like, Clark Kent, like, people really did not recognize me, like the opposite, but it's like the more I go out and the more recently, I think, like, people,
Super Bowl, Old Navy commercial, Grammys,
right? People kind of seen me a little bit more, so they're like, "Yo, that has to be her. That's her. That's her." And they'll come up to me and be like, "I think I wasn't sure, but And so I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's me. I can't deny it anymore. Like, there's no denying it. I could deny it before."
If you take off your glasses right now, are you saying you immediately become less her?
Yes, absolutely. That's what it is. I'm not going to do that, but yes, if I took them off, I would absolutely be less her.
Look, wow. when We Going Crazy dropped, we played it every morning to kick off our show. Just so you know.
Wow.
I always hear about working with Khaled that he like rolls out the red carpet and he's very, Khaled takes things to the next level. But tell us about, the call that you got from him and wanting to work with and pair you with Migos.
Everything is a movie with Khaled. I'm pretty sure. So I got a DM, and we had been talking for a while, like, oh, really want to work together because I'm a Khaled fan. Like, I love everything about everything he does and the energy around it and the positivity around it. So I was in Miami, and I think I got a FaceTime call. I'm pretty sure he was on a jet ski when he FaceTimed me. I'm almost
that's Khaled. Always
on
the ground, right?
Exactly. And he called me. He's like, yo, come to my house in my studio and check out these records. And he's like, I really want you to hear them and see what you think, because he was getting ready for his album. So I went to the house, and he had the chef going, and it was like this amazing 8-course meal.
Is it Chef Michelle? Chef Michelle.
Yes,
Michelle.
Yeah, something like that. But definitely a female chef. She was amazing. She was like phenomenal.
She's incredible, great woman.
Yeah, and we ate and we talked, and then he was just saying like, yo, these songs are one of them ones, and they were still in the beginning stages. But I was like, okay, and so we listened to it, and there were speakers coming from behind me, blasting the music. There was speakers in front of me, and it was just like, it was crazy. And he was jumping up and down, the way he does. the way he does about his records, and it got me excited. But not only, you know, the hype got me excited. It was really the records, like the songs that I heard. I was like, okay, yeah, these are one of them ones. So I put my thing on it, and you know, went in the studio and did my thing.
You've you know, periodically, I think it was a BET Cypher, you spit some bars. Everybody was like, wait, time out. Hold on. Did you ever want to be a rapper? Is that like an alter ego? And then do you see yourself rapping more? Because you're very good at it. And you have something to say, actually. It's not just bars for bars' sake. Like, it feels like when you go to rap, and the 2 or 3 times that I've heard it, you want to say something.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know what? I have been writing poetry since I was a kid. That's kind of what started my songwriting. And I feel like poetry and rap, you know, they're kind of, you know, the same. It's the same world. It's kind of the same thing. And, you know, I've looked up to people like Lauryn Hill, and some of my favorite rappers are, you know, poetic, like Pac and Biggie and Tribe and you know, people like that. So, I feel like you will definitely see me rapping more. And I don't know if it's an alter ego. It might have to be, but it's just something that I feel like I do naturally with poetry. So yeah, maybe I'm gonna do it more.
I like it. I'm into it.
I Can't Breathe. The second I heard it drop, I remember where I was driving through a completely desolate Manhattan in the middle of the pandemic. Wow. And everyone's you know, been so affected by George Floyd and the protests that came afterwards. And you dropped this record, which is sort of a bold thing to do, because, man, if you do it wrong in that moment and it feels just like insincere or just
opportunistic or something.
Yeah, opportunistic. Right. It's such a fail. Instead, not only was it maybe my favorite song, that and the Lil Baby record, my 2 favorite songs at that time, but you ended up winning the Grammy for Song of the Year for it. Take us through the process of making it, and were you surprised that it won you Grammy for Song of the Year as well?
That was crazy. I didn't even think about, you know, where the song would go. Like, I was actually spending a lot of time at my mom's house during quarantine, and there's a guitar that stays next to my bed, like the guitar that I've had since I was a little girl. And I remember like talking to people. This was during the protests, and I remember talking to people, you know, just because I had time. You know, FaceTime sessions were very long, and so I called H.E.R. Thomas, who I write with a lot. We just started talking like, yo, this is crazy, isn't it? You know, like everything going on, like, how have you been feeling? And we just started talking about our feelings towards it. And I picked up my guitar, and the song almost wrote itself. Like, we just started asking ourselves these, you know, these real questions, like, you know, how do we cope when we don't love each other? What is a gun to a man that surrenders? And, you know, all of these things that were really personal to us. They were based on our personal feelings. And then I started singing the hook, I Can't Breathe, you know, and just kind of making it really natural. And it just came together. It wasn't even like intentional. It just kind of happened. And then afterwards, you know, I was like, oh, I need to record this. And I did a little voice memo for D Mile, the producer, and he did a track in like, I don't even know, it must have been just a few hours or not even. And he sent it right back to me. And so I had to be my own engineer, and I was recording in my mom's house, in my room in my mom's house, and like the dogs would start barking and I would have to like wait, and then I would start recording again. So the whole record pretty much was recorded in my room. And then you know, I sent it to Jeff, my manager, and he was like, yo, we should put this out. You know, now I feel like he felt like, you know, the world needs it. And I was like, okay. And you know, the proceeds went to the movement. It wasn't anything I could benefit from. So, you know, it was just me getting it out, you know. And then to be at the Grammys and to win Song of the Year was like, oh my gosh, this thing that we just created based on our own, you know, feelings and our own perspective and anxiety really turned out to be like the soundtrack to like a movement. And it turned out to be something that people cry to or that makes them think. It was like, wow, you know.
And also, let's take this moment while we have it to salute Sierra Thomas, who got halfway to an EGOT in the last year.
That's right. Talk about it.
Your Grammy win and
Yeah.
then the Academy Award win for the song
Yes.
she wrote for Judas and the Black Messiah.
That's
So
right.
shouts to T.R. Thomas.
Yes, absolutely. That's one of my favorite people to write with and collaborate with. You know, anytime there's something, I'm like, T.R., come to the studio. You know, like let's do this. And she's always supported me, like from the beginning since I was a kid. So we're very close.
You know, you brought up Judas and the Black Messiah, Rosenberg. You have the Fight for You song. You have on there, you have I Can't Breathe. And then you blessed the Apple Music team. I got to bring this up just for Juneteenth and did the cover of Make Me Wanna Holla from Marvin Gaye for that Juneteenth project. Can you talk about, you know, why you chose that song to represent on Juneteenth and for Juneteenth this year?
You know, one thing I will say about Marvin Gaye's music, when I knew I had the opportunity to do this, I just thought, like, you know, what really embodies what Juneteenth is all about. And growing up in the Bay Area, there was always live music. There's always like some giant barbecue with everybody's family coming together. And so that's one of those records I just felt like embodies Juneteenth, because Marvin Gaye had the ability to make music and write lyrics that represented so much pain and struggle and you know, a crazy time and what's still going on now. He made timeless lyrics under a body of music, under a bed of music that makes you want to dance, you know, that kind of makes you joyful at the same time. And that is not an easy thing to do. So he almost took us out of the pain that we were experiencing by, you know, articulating it in a different way and singing it real smooth and gentle and, you know, but painful at the same time. And that's something that every artist cannot do. So that's the reason why I love that song so much and why I wanted to do it for the project, just because it's such a special song. And I actually made the outro of the song the intro just because I just thought it was so sweet, and I feel like people forget about that outro part. So yeah.
As an artist, and you know, being so, I mean, this is your first album, right? So it's your first official album to have all of these accolades and music with purpose and music with culture and all of these things. And then this amazing project where you have young artists like Corday on a song. You got Hit Boy on there with him. You got Little Baby. You got Chris Brown. You got a new artist, Young Blue, who's phenomenal. All these amazing and Ty Dolla Sign, let's not forget him. And then just the other records that are just dope. You are set up to be like the artist of a generation right now. And I know I don't want to put all that, you know, pressure on you, but when you do so much great shit, from playing the guitar and live performances to writing songs that have purpose at the same time, I hope people are really appreciating what you've brought to this game already, right? And what you've brought to popular music and Black music already. Do you feel, I'm sure when you're doing it, that's not what you're setting out to do, but in some regard, I'm sure you want to make sure Black music is taken care of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I feel a responsibility to be myself and make music that represents us, that represents me, and not be afraid or try to fit into any box or, you know, any genre. Like, let's just make great music and show people the foundation of all music, American music especially, is Black music. You know, when I was at the Country Music Awards, which is, you know, completely different world, and I was blessed to be there, you know, on the red carpet, they were asking me like, oh, how does it feel to be here? I know this is such a different genre for you. And, you know, what are you bringing to the Country Music Awards? I'm like, you know what? R&B, gospel, blues is the foundation of country music.
That's
there
right.
would be no country music without that. So I think I'm here to show people that R&B lives in everything. And this is just me discovering this, you know, kind of new purpose and new passion for this genreless thing just in the past few months, but realizing the foundation of all music is our music. And so I'm always going to champion R&B. And when people say it's dead, like, it lives in everything.
That's
and
right.
yeah, through my creative freedom, like I said, I just feel like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, they told me something. They said there's only two genres of music, good and bad. And yeah, you know, it's important to continue to celebrate us.
That Jimmy Jam Terry Lewis name drop hits so different. I mean, being able to casually refer to them is so amazing. Now,
Rosenberg, you know Jimmy Jam listens to our show.
You mentioned something about him, like you talking to him at some point.
Yo,
but I
he
couldn't
DMs
process.
me sometimes, huh?
Yeah,
And will comment on our show.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's out here.
Does he know I was in Friends of Janet?
He knows.
He doesn't know that you had a Velvet Rope VIP card. No.
No, a Friends of Janet. A Friends of Janet card.
Well, now
sir.
he knows. Friends of Janet.
Now
Sorry, he knows now.
Now, Janet has played halftime at the Super Bowl. You have not done halftime yet. However, you did do America the Beautiful, and it was. I remember I was hooking up the wings in the kitchen, and I heard the guitar come in, and I heard you, and I ran out. My girl, we were sitting there like, oh my God, it was such a touching, amazing performance. But I have to ask you, it's very loaded. Like, number one, you did something with the NFL, which a lot of people, for good reason, have a lot of mixed feelings or just straight up bad feelings about their approach to social justice and the way that Colin Kaepernick was blackballed, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And you obviously are unapologetically black, so I'm curious about that. And then furthermore, America the Beautiful at a time when people are wearing masks in the stands, it's a pandemic. Just take us through the whole Super Bowl experience for you.
Listen, it was a tough thing, and I thought about all of those things. But to me, the fact that there was a black woman on one of the biggest stages, ever, playing the guitar and doing a song about America being beautiful, even though it's not so beautiful right now, and me representing what it should be, what America should be, is celebrating people like me, celebrating, people like Jasmine Sullivan, who sang the national anthem, and celebrating Black culture, Black music. The fact that I was up there, it was a message. Like, that was my message. That was the statement, was me being up there. And I know there were so many little girls at home, of all races, looking at me like, I want to be on that stage one day, or I can be like her one day. If I, turned it down, or if I didn't go on that stage, who would have went up there? You know what I mean? Like, not saying that, there's tons of artists who would have killed it too, but I'm saying the fact that it was me, a Black girl who plays guitar, who, has a collaboration with Fender and is doing things that I feel like just, I represent us, that was a statement in itself. That was a statement.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A Black woman on a guitar is not something that mainstream America gets to see and enjoy. And that we celebrate enough since Sister Rosetta Tharpe, was out here blazing trails for rock and roll, and she doesn't even get props for that.
A mainstream place like that, though, I'm trying to think of any time when I would have seen that. I mean, honestly, when I think about like prominent Black men that I've seen in that role, you think of Prince.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people, so it's pretty.
Lenny Prince,
Shouts to Live in Color.
Yeah.
But there's not a ton of
Jimi
imagery.
Hendrix and Gary Clark Jr. That's the number.
Yeah.
It's not that many. So yeah, it was a pretty powerful moment.
Well, H.E.R, we love you so much, man. Thank you for always joining our program. Thank you for your contributions to music so we can, keep enjoying the sounds of great R&B. And everybody go stream that album.
It's our first. It's brand new.
Back of my mind. Yo, that Bloody Waters is crazy.
Oh, thank you so much.
Bloody Waters, Cheat Code. I got some favorites on here. What's my other one I like? For Anyone, Hard to Love. And these are all the ones. These don't even have collaborations on it. Like, don't make no mistakes. The collaborations are icing on the cake, but you guys know H.E.R could do her thing. What do you want to play for the people? What should we play right
now? What do I want to play?
First thing that comes to your mind, go.
Okay, let's play Bloody Waters.
Let's do it.
Boom.
H.E.R, go get the album. Back of My Mind is available on Apple Music. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
Bye.